Hi, this is Clint, back for 15 minutes for God, and just very quick touch base where we were. Last time I talked to you guys, we were heading toward Albuquerque, toward the Balloon Festival. I said I was going to get there and post a bunch of stuff about the giant cross. Well, now we're sitting at a place called Lazy Days, north of Tampa, which is a big RV sales place and a resort place back in Florida. Had to come back for my doctor's visits. We made it to Albuquerque, but then when we got there, the weather was like high was 47, snow was coming, and then tons of rain and no service. They don't like T-Mobile apparently out there. And we went all through New Mexico and back through West Texas, which is like desert. Never seen anything like that. Service was horrible, and just hadn't been able to post anything hardly till we got here. And then my son was working on the big cross thing, and looks like, well, they're blaming operator error, but I'll take a look at it and see. Whatever we can put up, I'll put up, and then we swing through there again. I'll get some better pictures for you, but at least you'll know where it's at. But anyway, now we're going back to our Bible study. We finished up on Genesis 2 and 3, and we're going to jump into 4 now and see where it goes, and then going to throw some more opinions out about different things of old and see what happens. Anyway, last time we had talked was when basically Adam and Eve had gotten kicked out of the garden, and my opinion before that was that there were people running around the earth, not just Adam and Eve. That God had a special relationship with Adam and Eve, like He does. He picks others that He chooses to have special relationships with. And I don't believe that Adam could have physically conquered all the world, and up until they were kicked out of the garden, they weren't procreating anything, so I don't know where all these people would be. So anyway, we jump into chapter 4, and I'm reading from my Bible here. It says, "Now Adam slept with his wife Eve. She became pregnant." So now they were having their first sex. When the time came, and see, it says when the time came, so there's an assumption that it was a normal birth. She gave birth to Cain, and she said, "With the Lord's help I brought forth a man." It says later she gave birth to a second son and named him Abel. And then it says, when they grew up. So they didn't come out like men. It's like it is now. Hopefully, I don't know, it may be longer, less, I don't know. We see the things about how they lived for hundreds of years, but they had to grow from children to men. And so it says when they grew up, Abel became a shepherd, while Cain was a farmer. So they were doing 2 different types of work. They were out of the garden, they had to work. It says at harvest time, Cain brought to the Lord a gift of his farm produce, while Abel brought several choice lambs from the best of his flock. The Lord accepted Abel and his offering, but He did not accept Cain and his offering. This made Cain very angry and dejected. Now let's stop here for a second. The only thing I can see in this is it says, Abel brought choice pieces of lamb, choice lambs to sacrifice, the best. And it says that Cain brought the Lord a gift of his farm produce. That's the only reference I can see at all. It may not have been what he would consider the best. He just brought something. And that's the only reason that I could say that God rejected him over the other one. Because I guess you could have bad fruit and you could have good fruit. Bad corn, good corn. We've seen that all the time. So that's the only thing I see here is the reason it wasn't one picked over the other, except for he didn't do what he was supposed to. Because then he says, "Why are you so angry?" the Lord asked him. "Why do you look so dejected? You will be accepted if you respond in the right way. But if you refuse to respond correctly, then watch out. Sin is waiting to attack and destroy you, and you must subdue it." Later, Cain suggested to his brother Abel, "Let's go out in the field." And while they were there, Cain attacked and killed his brother. So God's telling or telling Cain that, there's sin's out there. Because sin's now in the world. I think sin was in the world from all these other people that were out there. But sin is in their group once they ate of those trees. And he's aware of it. And he's got to have power over it. It's just God's not just going to make you sinless. That's that free will choice thing. So, as opposed to that, Cain says, "Hey, let's go out in the woods." Later, Cain suggests to his brother, "Let's go to the field." And while they were there, Cain attacked and killed his brother. Afterward, the Lord said to Cain, "Where is your brother? Where is Abel?" So he's talking specifically to him. He knows. And he says, "I don't know," Cain retorted. "Am I supposed to keep track of him wherever he goes?" But the Lord said, "What have you done? Listen, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. You are hereby banished from the ground you have defiled with your brother's blood. No longer will it yield abundant crops for you. No matter how hard you work, from now on you will be a homeless fugitive on the earth, constantly wandering from place to place." Cain replied to the Lord, "My punishment is too great for me to bear. You have banished me from my land and from your presence. You have made me a wandering fugitive. All who see me will try to kill me." Now there's the big key. All who see me will try to kill me. Now who is all? If it was just Adam and Eve, it doesn't say anything about another son until we get down here farther when Adam and Eve have Seth. And then it says they have other children after that. But even if they had other children, they couldn't have enough children in that time frame for these people to be out there and worried about who was going to kill him. So, anyway, that's all who see me will try to kill me. The Lord replied, "They will not kill you, for I will give 7 times your punishment to anyone who does." He says, they will not kill you. Hey, they is a bunch. Then the Lord put a mark on Cain to warn anyone who might try to kill him. So he's got a mark on him. He's going out there wandering around, and whoever he runs into knows they can't kill him. So Cain left the Lord's presence and settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. So there again, that's a second thing on my idea of there's all these other people outside of the Garden of Eden that are populating the world, but they're doing all kinds of horrible stuff too, because they're not following any path at all except their own. Same thing that's happening today. Then Cain's wife became pregnant and gave birth to a son, and they named him Enoch. When Cain founded a city, he named it Enoch after his son. Enoch was the father of Ired. Ired was the father of Mahujah. Mahujah was the father of Methuselah. Methuselah was the father of Lamech. That's descendants of Cain, and there were 7 of them from him. And 7 is a completeness number in the Bible, it seems to be. Lamech married 2 women, Adah and Zillah. Adah gave birth to a baby named Jabal. He became the first of the herdsmen who lived in tents. His brother's name was Jubal, the first musician, the inventor of the harp and the flute. To Lamech's other wife, Zillah, was born Tubal-Cain. He was the first to work with metal, forging instruments of bronze and iron. Tubal-Cain had a sister named Naamath. One day, Lamech said to Adah and Zillah, "Listen to me, my wives. I have killed a youth who attacked and wounded me. If anyone who kills Cain is to be punished 7 times, anyone who takes revenge against me will be punished 77 times." There's that pride sticking up in there. See, all these people we're the big dog. It's not God, it's us. That's wrong. Adam slept with his wife again. See, here's where it comes up. And she gave birth to another son. She named him Seth. For she said, "God has granted me another son in his place of Abel, the one Cain killed." When Seth grew up, so he started as a baby, went all the way up, he had a son and named him Enosh. It was during his lifetime that people first began to worship the Lord. So that piece, just a little one-liner there on the end, people weren't worshiping the Lord at all before then. So now they spread the news, and they're trying to do their thing, looks like. So then chapter 5 goes into the lines of Adam, from Adam to Noah. And we've seen the line coming from Adam down through Cain. Well, then here's the other side of the story. This is a history of the descendants of Adam when God created people. He made them in the likeness of God. He created them male and female. He blessed them and called them human. When Adam was 130 years old, his son Seth was born. Seth was the very image of his father. After the birth of Seth, Adam lived another 800 years. See, these guys are living a long time. And he had other sons and daughters. He died at the age of 930. When Seth was 105 years old, his son Enosh was born. And after the birth of Enosh, Seth lived another 807 years, and he had other sons and daughters. He died at the age of 912. When Enosh was 90, his son Kenan was born. After the birth of Kenan, Enosh lived another 815. He had other sons and daughters. He died at 905. When Kenan was 70 years old, his son Mahaliah was born. After the birth of Mahaliah, Kenan lived another 840 years. He had other sons and daughters. He died at the age of 910. When Mahaliah was 65 years old, his son Jared was born. After the birth of Jared, Mahaliah lived 830 years. He had other sons and daughters. He lived to be 895. When Jared was 162, his son Enoch was born. After the birth of Enoch, Jared lived another 800 years. He had other sons and daughters. He died at 962. See, these names match the ones on Cain's side. When Enoch was 65 years old, his son Methuselah was born. After the birth of Methuselah, Enoch lived another 300 years in close fellowship with God, and he had other sons and daughters. Enoch lived 365 years in all. He enjoyed a close relationship with God throughout his life. Then suddenly he disappeared because God took him. That might have been better off. When Methuselah was 187 years old, his son Lamech was born. After the birth of Lamech, Methuselah lived another 782 years. And he had other sons and daughters. He lived to the age of 969. That's supposed to be the oldest man that ever lived. When Lamech was 182 years old, his son, now this is it, Noah, was born. Lamech named his son Noah, for he said, "He will bring us relief from the painful labor of farming this ground the Lord has cursed." After the birth of Noah, Lamech lived 595 years, and he had other sons and daughters. He died at the age of 777. By the time Noah was 500 years old, he had 3 sons. So he only had 3 sons at 500 years. These other guys probably are similar. Sons are Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So you can't populate the whole earth unless there's other people running around doing this kind of stuff. And these are the special folks. And when people talk about, here's where I'm going to get into my opinion. People talk about Eve as the mother of all the people living, or all the people ever born. I don't think Eve was the mother of all the people ever born. I think God, in the first sections of this book, talked about populating the earth. And he had men and women running around doing their stuff. And we'll see some more here about, well, I'm going to just read the first little bit, because the next chapter is on Noah and the flood. But this makes my point. When the human population began to grow rapidly on the earth, the sons of God saw the beautiful women of the human race and took them as their wives. And they got them pregnant and they had kids. We'll talk about that later. But what I'm seeing here is that I believe Adam and Eve were the special choice of God for the world. And when you see what happens here, that's why in 5, they put the line from Adam directly down to Noah. That's where we're going to be flipping the next couple of times. Is when we go over to the New Testament and see the line of Jesus, it traces directly back through Noah to Adam. So what I'm saying is, my belief is that these other people were running around all over the place, but Noah came from the special line of Adam. And once we read chapter 6 and 7, which we're not going to do today, and we get through the flood, God came to Noah and said, well, you're the only righteous man here. Your family's going to be saved. Everybody else is going to die. So the flood killed all the people except Noah's family, which were direct descendants of Adam and Eve. And then working the other way, are direct descendants all the way down to Christ. So that everybody that's ever been born from Adam through Noah, that descended through Noah, came from Eve. But not all the people that were on earth to begin with. All those bad people died at the flood. And that's how the world got populated with so many of them. And you'll see other things jumping back and forth afterwards. But that's my belief. Again, people will say, hey, that's wrong. But my bottom line on that is that's God's business. This is what I interpret it to be. If it's wrong, he'll set me straight when I come to meet him. As long as I believe that God so loved the world, and He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him will not perish, but have everlasting life. That's all I got to believe. Believe that and change my lifestyle and try to glorify God. Well, guys, think about this a bit. Read it a bit. Chapter 6 gets kind of weird with all these other sons of God running around, so we're going to talk about some of that. Then we're going to jump over into the New Testament a little bit and see where some of that plays in. We're going to go back and forth. Told you I was going to be jumping around, so you can go either one or the other, stay in Genesis or go to Matthew or go back and forth, whichever one you like. At any rate, this is it for today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, or trying to say tune in. Just so you know, that 15minuteforgod.com. It's 15minuteforgod.com, all lowercase. It's been having some server issues and it's not working right, but we're still trying to work it out. But worst case, you can find me on the Clint Drane YouTube. If you like it, give me that thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to. Please send comments. Prayer requests are even better if you got people to pray for. I mean, this is God's messages, not mine. This is for the glory of God. We want to spread His word. We want to save as many people as we can. This world's getting weirder. I saw stuff on the news this last week of 10 and 11-year-old girls claiming to be Satan worshipers and wanting to kill other little kids in school and kill themselves so they could be children of Satan. That's crazy. But the world is getting that way. And you see all the stuff that's going on with all the marchers and all the caravans and all the supposed bombings and stuff that's going on. I don't know how much of that is contracted or real or whatever, or what's going on, but the world is going crazy. And that's what it says is going to happen at the end of time. Everybody's going to do what's right in their own mind, not what God wants them to do. We need to turn from that, get on our knees, and ask God for forgiveness. And I appreciate all your support. If you can pass this, that would be great. If people can see it, if they can, may not agree with me, but they may find somebody that they can talk to or get a church that they can go to. And if you want to see some good preaching online, you can go to Kewanee First United Methodist. That's where my cousin is a preacher, and he does a really good job at it. But at any rate, I'm just going to finish and close with prayer. Father, thank you for allowing me to continue to do this. Keep it going. Fill me with the Spirit so that I know what to say, that I'm saying the right stuff, saying the things that will glorify you and your Son Jesus and your Holy Spirit. And just be with me and let me do whatever you need me to do, because this is all about you. It's not about me. Continue to pray for my oldest son, Jason, and his wife. They have issues with kidneys and colostomies and things that are major health issues that they need help with. And they're also in the process of trying to adopt a son, help them do that. He's a great kid. I love him. And just help him get into a family that will take care of him like them. And just stay with us. Continue to watch the grandmas that are out there that need help. Help us on the road to find a good place to stay and keep us safe. We've been sick with colds. My son and my wife, and they're doing most of the work. My daughter, she's doing all the cooking and cleaning. I'm just kind of going along for the ride. But help them and keep them together. Say a prayer for Mr. Bill. Make sure he's staying cancer free. And I know you're watching over him and he's helping plenty of people. If there's anybody else out there, I know my two aunts, bless them and their families and keep them all safe. And I just ask everything in the name of Jesus and ask everything for the glory of God.